Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back. It is exactly 8:55 a.m. and we now talk with one of our regulars. I think I shouldn't refer to him as a regular. I should say he's part of the Salam Media team. Alhamdulillah. He is Dr. Tshepo Moloi, a researcher at the Ali Mazrui Center for Higher Education at UJ. He is here to talk to us about rather to give us a post-analysis of the ANC's January 8 statement. A lot was said. If we sift through all of what has been said, what are the key issues that stand out? Is it things that we've heard before? Is there something to look forward to? Has Ramaphosa given some solid solid answers to all of the questions and all of the uncertainty that has been going on since the July insurrection? And now that we have been given the Zondo, the first part of the Zondo report, where and how are the people that have been fingered as the corruptors and the corrupted, are they going to be brought to book? So a lot to be covered in the next 12 minutes or so. Welcome to the program, Dr. Tshepo Moloi. A very good morning to you. Welcome and salamu alaikum.
Salam alaikum, Julie, and jolly good morning to the rest of the listeners.
Okay, you've heard my introductory statement. How do you respond to that?
Ooh, your question and your statement is very pregnant. There's so much. It's a pity time is always an enemy. Now we're having
Right.
this interview. We're having this interview in what I would like to call the calm after the storm. It was a very stormy week that we come from, which had its climax on Saturday with the January 8th statement delivered by the president of the ANC. Um, it's a pity again because most of the analysis that I've been reading throughout, everybody's hurtful, everyone is tired. People don't have the patience of rhetoric anymore. The promises and promises that are always ongoing, that are never fulfilled, has really got everybody. Ironically, for the first time, everyone is agreeing that the ANC is a tired party. The ANC has run its course. The ANC basically in its last days now. It's on its knees. Everybody else sees this, but the ANC themselves, because clearly, from what we listened to in the statement, they are in serious denial, of just how in bad shape the party and the government is under their leadership.
Ramaphosa has admitted in this statement, the 8th of January statement, he has kind of almost acknowledged the problems that they have been experiencing over the past while. Do you think that that makes a difference, that there's no denial on his part? And then that being said, let's also look at the importance of this 8th of January statement as opposed to the State of the Nation address, and then also the big event in the life of a South African is the budget speech. So when we look at these three issues, which we sit back with bated breath to hear, what is coming, what lies ahead for the South Africans, and how the mistakes going to be repaired, the past mistakes, so they are never repeated in the future. Do you think that he'd given us any assurance on that one issue, all the mistakes, how they're going to be corrected, how people are going to be held accountable? And then let's look at the state of the nation. Do you think anything new is going to come out of it?
Julie, if I was an ANC member, and I had to defend the State of the Nation address, I would say um, the president has done traditionally what the state of the nation, or what the January 8th statement is intended to do. He has outlined the political program for the upcoming year, for this current year of the ANC. He has referred to resolutions coming from the 54th conference. He has emphasized on unity and renewal. You know that the theme of his address was unity and renewal to defend and advance South Africa's democratic gains. So that point has been badgered again and again. But also, we must be alive to the fact that the same member of the ANC who's defending the state, the January 8th statement, will also remind you that it was not Ramaphosa's speech. It was a speech which was exactly as it is tabulated. It's the NEC statement. So Ramaphosa, as basically the head and the president, is merely just a reader of that statement. So um, you have a situation here where this January 8th statement is basically a window into what the ANC plans to do or embark upon in this year. Now, what is problematic with this? Moving away from if I was defending the ANC. Now, as an outsider who's looking at this, I have to take into context a lot of factors. One of which is um, the social realities that have become, unavoidable. The high unemployment rate, the level of corruption, um, the rogue figures that are leading, that are in charge of parastatals in the country, the lack of arrests, no accountability. We're hearing all these allegations. The Zondo Commission you just raised now, Deputy Justice, Chief Justice, Zondo
Okay, you breaking up there. Let's try and reconnect with you. I'm waiting to hear in anticipation how you responding to that issue, the Zondo Commission's findings. It's very, very important. I think it's on all of our minds going forward. We want to see something really concrete coming out of it. We want those that have been fingered in this report, in this commission, we want them to be accountable. We want them to be brought to book. How do you read that? Do you think that's going to happen?
Okay, so I was interrupted. My apologies,
No
but
worries.
now, is it going to happen? I don't think we trust the ANC to have any agency on implementing the 10 recommendations that come from the Zondo Commission report. We don't have that trust. But what we know is the president does not have a choice on the matter anymore. So he's not going to, implement these recommendations because they want to. They will be compelled to, and again, remember now we're warming up to an election, the forthcoming national elections in 2024. So they want to look good. They want to be seen as, you know, following and obeying, what the recommendations from the Zondo Commission are. But if they had a choice, they wouldn't do it. Now, what is frustrating? This first report already points to Moyane, Dudu Mieni, and the other cronies. But the president has already said, listen, we can't do anything in terms of prosecutions until he's tabulated the report at the end of June, in Parliament. Now, this is a problem because the next two coming reports are expected by the end of February. And these people are aware that they are wanted. They've been aware anyway that they are going to be targeted for prosecution. But let's please go and look at the status of the National Prosecution Authority, the security cluster. It's a mess. Resignations all over the show. A lot of reports. I mean, you have shady characters still leading that cluster. And this is the most sensitive unit, that is supposed to advise the president. And he has now taken it over and brought a bit of it into his office. But you were now with your previous guest, we're talking about the July unrest. To this day, nobody has been arrested. To this day, no accountability. And all that is supposed to come from the state security cluster. So this tells you we don't have confidence in what they're going to do on this matter.
Dr. Moloi, we don't have too much time left, about 3 minutes. I really did want you to unpack the 10 recommendations from the Zondo report, but let's leave that over for the next time we talk. We do need to unpack all of that. Also, the inefficiency and ineffectiveness of the NPA and the Hawks. We'll try and unpack it later on. But just give us a sense of what else you've picked up from the January 8th statement. As you speak, I'm becoming more and more and more disillusioned. So over to you.
Okay, so what is the good news that we can at least talk about from the statement? For the first time, we hear that the president says we are going to open an anti corruption unit, which is interesting because he received the Zondo Commission report on Tuesday and his address is on Saturday. And one of the recommendations of the Zondo Commission is government has to open an anti-corruption unit. So, but we'll unpack that the next time. That was the first. So they're going to have that. Now, why don't we think this is an effective or he's saying anything new? Well, we have to remember the ANC has got what they call the Integrity Committee. And a lot of their comrades who are supposedly involved in corruption were supposed to be undergoing that internal process. We've not heard anything that that we can say is a take home for us, for us to put them in confidence that they can sort out their own house. In fact, the Zondo Commission was basically the greatest signature that they can sort out their internal problems internally. So they had to then come up with an external structure. So those are the two things. And it's a pity that I have to with the
Okay,
analysis that says ANC is
we will
tired.
we will talk another time in much detail and in depth regarding these issues. My final question, a short question and a short answer, please, if you will. Is there hope for us here in South Africa? Is there hope for this country at all? Can we get leaders with integrity to lead the country out of this darkness?
It's a simple yes. Yes. We just have to look at our whistleblowers. You know, that it gives us hope. Please, we need to
Not
read.
enough of them. Not enough whistleblowers in the country, unfortunately.
No, 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 no. I disagree. I disagree. I
Okay.
think we have them. We have them, but there's fear. There's fear. And so until we put structures in place, Arthur Williams is instructive. He's mentioned 60 times in the Zondo Commission report, and he is lauded as a hero, for whistleblowing. And I think we need more Arthur Williams, in our country to take leadership. So there is hope.
Okay, on that on that note of positivity, we have to wrap up, but undoubtedly we will talk again sometime soon. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. You go well, and thank you indeed for your insights.
Inshallah ta'ala. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum. It is exactly 10 minutes after 9 o'clock right here on News and Views with me, Julie Ali. Nice.